You are now listening to A to Z, the podcast with no authority.
It's my money and I need it now!
It's my money and I need it now!
We are live and direct from our new ADZ studios.
Oh.
I have some big news, guys.
Okay.
We are here with the one, the only, my dad, Big G. Yeah! My dad is here. Gabe, that's weird because that's my dad. But that's
Mr.
my dad.
Maldonado.
Say hello to the people, Dad.
Hello, people. How are we?
Oh, I think we're okay.
We're good. We're
Yeah.
good.
We also have my brother, who you've heard before in the background, Maximus. I don't think he's paying attention.
Like usual.
Don't use the microwave, please.
Please don't press any buttons.
He's taking like extreme notes right now.
Extreme. No, yeah, he's. Are you the intern today, or?
Whatever you want me to be.
Okay.
He said he is whatever we want him to be. Okay.
All right. That sounds like an intern.
Well, my name is Avid.
Oh, hey.
My name is Dempsey.
Oh, I guess. Oh, my name now, right? Yeah, my name is
That's how it
Zeke.
goes. Yeah.
All right. Good
And,
start. Good start.
If you guys didn't know, about a few weeks ago, we introduced that we are gonna do like a series. So being that we are in the midst of tax season, we brought a tax professional / real estate extraordinaire individual
Tax
here.
man.
Hey, my dad. Yeah, that's you. Yeah, it's you.
All right.
Yeah. So that's why he's here, and he's just gonna give us pretty much like an overview of like the tax world and any other nuggets that he wants to shine upon us.
Exactly. It's that time of the year, guys. So take out your pens and pencils and your pads too, right? People write on pads.
Or maybe like the notes app on your
Or
phone.
notes. Get your notes ready.
Yeah.
And get this knowledge.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, bombs of knowledge. Yeah. One of us did our taxes already. They played themselves.
What you mean?
I guess now we know which
Now
one it is.
Yeah, Gabe.
He probably did it himself too, right?
No, he
did
paid
it.
somebody.
I didn't.
He did.
I want
Yeah.
to learn how to do it myself, though. But I looked into it. It's not. It's rather pricey to get started, right? I guess. Let's just kick it off.
Oh yeah, you sound like you're getting
That's
into
my
it.
first.
let's
question.
go. Let's go.
So
Let's do it.
I personally think that it is a waste of money to pay somebody to do your taxes. When I'm a person, I'm smart enough.
You are
I think
a person.
I think I can learn how to
yeah.
do it myself. What would you recommend? Do you recommend doing your own taxes?
Did you do your taxes yourself?
I didn't do my taxes myself.
Didn't you just answer your own question?
No, but
Ooh.
no.
Got him.
Wait, no. You don't understand the question. I am currently paying somebody to do my taxes, but I would much rather do them myself. Would you recommend that?
You just want to do themselves because you think you're going to save $1 by doing them yourselves, right?
Yeah.
But you don't have the knowledge to know what should or should not be put onto your taxes. And that is the learning curve. And I think the IRS also wants you to do it yourself so that you claim less of those deductions that you are entitled to.
So
But you didn't do it yourself because you got somebody
Okay.
to do it for you. But you have to have the right person to do it for you because not everybody who does taxes are the same. There are those people that just get a bunch of people and save their taxes to do it at the end because they're just interested in getting as many people as they can and pushing the paper right through instead of focusing on you and making sure they're actually the proper questions to make sure you get all the deductions that you are entitled to.
Okay.
So would you say it's a high learning curve to like being able to do your own taxes?
I wouldn't say it's a high learning curve. I think that the fact is that most people are not that intelligent, right? And most people don't put the time that they need into learning stuff and want to take a shortcut, right? I once did this guy's taxes. He owned 3 properties. It was the first time I was going to do his taxes. So he sat there with me. He brought me his 1098s. He brought me his W-2, his 1099. And then I asked him, okay, well, how much oil did you put into this building? He was like, I don't know. I'm like, you how do you want this building? Because, yeah, oil. I said, well, your oil is tax deductible. Oh, my last tax guy didn't ask me for that. And then I looked at his taxes and said, well, you're missing this deduction. You're missing this deduction. Most guys, when you take them your tax stuff, they do your taxes with whatever you brought them. See, because it would take too much time and effort to go through your stuff to see what you have and ask for what's missing. They'll just do your taxes with whatever you brought. and your deduction will be based on that. And that is a tax guy who doesn't really care about his clients. He just cares about
Getting that
the
money.
turnover and charging you. See, I'm not like that, right? I'll sit down and say, hey, you didn't give me this, or how much money did you spend on that, or did you have your child in aftercare program? Did you have them in a summer program? And I want those fees, how much you paid, because these things are tax deductible. Now, there have been changes. Not everything is tax deductible like it used to, because our big orange boy up there changed some of those laws.
Yeah, they know how we feel
that's
about
another question. I'm just not going to
That's another topic.
Yeah.
Talk about it in November.
So basically, try to make sure you keep your receipts for your
Keep your receipts, because 0.05% of whoever filed taxes, 0.05% of them will be audited, right? And the IRS wants a receipt. So if you bought dinner for a group of guys from your office to discuss some business, they want a receipt. They don't want a credit card printout. They want the actual receipt, and the receipt should actually say 4 people. I mean,
Gotcha.
yeah, they want the receipt.
Okay, see.
You gotta start keeping your receipts.
Yeah,
Because
we
I know
got-
you take a lot of people on dinners and lunches
Yeah,
for
our A to Z dinners.
correct.
For,
yeah,
for
I've
business
never been
dinners.
invited to one of those, but there you
Oh
go.
yeah, no, they're happening.
I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Don't worry, I'll claim it, guys.
Thanks.
You know,
No,
get those
you
deductions.
definitely need to. Yeah. I don't think you could afford for somebody to do your taxes. How much refund do you get on a zero income?
He would actually get an income credit. He would get a refund.
Oh, boom, boom, boom. All right, we'll
Everybody
talk
should
after
do
this.
their taxes.
Yeah, we'll do this after.
Even if even if he's working like odd jobs.
So, I would say I would assume so, right? Like even if it's like minimal.
There's no such thing as an odd job. Everything that you earn an income for is supposed to be reported on your taxes. There's no such thing as, I don't get paid on the books. There's no such thing. That is called self-employed.
Yes.
Whether you get a 1099 or somebody gives you cash, that is something you report to the IRS. And if you don't make enough and you have a child, or there are child tax credits, there are earned income credits. If you don't make enough income, you are able to get some tax back, even without having paid any federal taxes.
Do you think it is? So is it beneficial to people? Let's say they work off the books. Is it beneficial? They're just making cash. Is it beneficial to actually do those taxes? Because if there's no paper trail, what is the benefit? What can happen to people? How would something like that get found?
Asking for a friend.
Yeah. Asking for my friend.
Responding for myself as an IRS e-service provider who has been licensed and taken the continuing education courses, there's no such thing as off the books. Mm-hmm. Everything you earned in cash should be put onto your books. Your spreadsheet.
Okay.
Your
You
books,
keep track of it, yeah.
your accounting, and that is what you file for your taxes. The income that you have made. Tips at a restaurant, cash, whether or in credit card, should be reported on your taxes. There's no such thing as, I get paid in cash. That doesn't count. Yes, it all counts. It is all income.
But
So
are there penalties for that though?
I was gonna,
There'll be jail penalties. There'll be file
No, but I mean,
penalties.
well, all right, yeah,
I was
but
gonna say, like, how would they know? Like, all right, when they ask, like, where did you get the money from, though? At some certain point.
Yeah, Big Brother's always watching.
Yeah, I know.
So you have no job, right, Zeke? You're not
Yeah.
working, and you ride the train, you buy sandwiches, you go to the store, you go on vacation. Where'd that money come from, Zeke?
grandma.
Yeah,
Grandma,
I
regular
found a
ma.
big bag of money on the floor.
A big bag of money should be reported on your taxes.
Okay, but
That's income.
that's income. It did come in.
What if it, even if it's a gift? What if somebody? Because I know that people try to go around that. They say, "Oh no,
And I don't
that
go
wasn't
on
income.
trips.
That was a
I don't buy
$500 gift given to me." You know.
I mean, there is a certain amount where you don't have to file. I don't remember what that amount is right now. I remember it used to be like $3,000. It could be around there. That under that you don't have to file. There is also a gift that you could give to a family member. I don't know that amount either. That's not something that happens as common play. But what was the question?
No, I was just asking if it was a gift that you still have to report it.
You know, I mean, a gift is a gift. Your grandmother gives you $500 because you graduated college. That's just a gift. That is not income. You didn't perform a task to acquire that dinero.
So that
was a
way it doesn't
gift.
have to be reported.
Right, that wouldn't have to be before. That's just a gift, right?
Yeah.
He's trying to figure it out.
You get so many gifts.
Take notes, Zeke.
Too funny.
Every day that Zeke can eat is a gift.
Yeah.
You're welcome for breakfast.
I have a question for Avid, and
Oh,
maybe
no.
even you, Max. Do you file your own kids' taxes, or do you recommend Avid goes somewhere else to get his stuff filed?
On paper, I file my own taxes.
That is not correct.
On paper, I'm like, what paper is
I
this?
file his taxes.
Yeah.
I file his taxes. I put it through my my tax company.
Okay.
So yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And you recommend you do that for all your kids or your family, or is there a cutoff? Of
Max does not
Yeah.
file taxes. I don't pressure anybody to use me to file taxes. I've been filing taxes for years, and I have some of the same clients, and I don't go looking for new clients. I mean, at one point I wanted to stop doing taxes, but I have some people that I've been doing for years that they were just comfortable with me. They felt like I already knew their lives. They liked the way I had changed it from the person that they were doing to give them more things that they should be giving me. You know, some people said, "Hey, nobody ever asked me that." You know, and things change, and then they'll call me throughout the year asking me questions. Hey, is this going to be tax deductible?
Yeah.
You know, so you become somebody's a focal point, their point of contact to ask a question that's relative to the IRS, their taxes, their income.
Yeah, you're the tax man. Yeah. Actually,
I'm the oh my god, the too many thing man. I mean, I do real estate, I do taxes. I am an MLO, which is a mortgage loan originator.
the original.
So I mean, I know I'm kind of versed in the real estate industry and have a, you know,
He's so
little
modest.
That's a
broad
vast knowledge of
it.
finance.
He's so modest.
Yeah.
I kind of know a little. But he knows a lot.
I know you mentioned something about, was it? You said 1098s, I believe?
Well, 1098 is interest. It could be a 1098T, which is interest you pay to a student loan, or 1098, which is the mortgage you've paid on the home. 1099 is if you're self-employed as a contractor for a company, and just being self-employed without getting any paper trail is when you have a cash business that you're getting the money in yourself. I mean, because you say, I'm working cash off the books.
Yeah.
If you hired a contractor and paid him cash, is that cash he's making off the books? No, that is the
That's
cash that he
big.
charged you to do the job. So when you charge somebody and they pay you in cash, that doesn't mean that it's off the books. That just means that you have to account for it on your books, and you know, and there's expenses that were allotted to that. You know, there's cost to making money.
Okay.
That's very. Those are costs to making money. I think it's very well said. Now, my last question for you in regards to the whole tax thing, because I know you, like you said, you are a jack of many trades and you have a lot of knowledge on a lot of different subjects. Stocks. How do stocks factor in to taxes? Like, let's say if you own a certain amount of stocks, or you have equity in certain companies, how would you file that?
Well,
for
I
your
mean,
taxes?
your stocks don't come into play until you sell them.
Those dividends.
You don't acquire a loss or a gain until you make a transaction with your stock. It is just something that you own, and it is there. Also, if you're part ownership in a company, you don't have to claim any income of that company unless you take a profit from it, and then you get a K-1 statement, which shows how much this company gave you. But you could be part owner of the company and they gave you absolutely nothing. You just have the stocks, and the stocks are either increasing or depreciating in value, but that doesn't become an aspect of your taxes up until the day you realize either the loss or the gain.
Okay, that makes sense. I always wonder that, because that's still people still incorporate stocks and all that stuff as a part of their net worth.
That is correct.
But but it doesn't matter unless you're actually profiting from it. All right,
or
all right.
losing.
Yeah, okay.
So,
All right.
D, you have some stocks you haven't told.
Yeah,
I
what's
do.
going
I
on
do.
here?
I
Yeah.
what do you own?
This is not an ad,
I
but
gotta take these notes.
I use the app Stash. You ever heard of Stash?
Oh, okay.
Also recommend Robinhood.
I used to use Robinhood. Yeah.
It's stocks made simple. You don't have to
Really
buy an entire stock, because I mean, the Apple stock is like thousands of dollars. You can buy portions of it, and like you can buy a fraction of it. And if you keep on buying a fraction of it, eventually it'll grow in value with the stock.
And you'll own one stock.
And
Right,
you'll
you'll
eventually own a share of the company, which I think is
Okay.
pretty cool. So I do. It's my way of saving money. So essentially, I put money into certain stocks and I watch it grow, and it does grow. Especially, I think when the whole right when Amazon, right before Amazon made $1 trillion, was the first company to make $1 trillion. I saw that stock grow exponentially. It's not a lot, but it is something. And I recommend. I think it is because it's so easy now. Especially, you can do it at the push of a finger. I highly recommend people do it.
I own some stock from like prior employers that were selling
I know
stock. at,
companies
like,
give
discount.
stock options. So
Yeah.
So it's like a mini portfolio, sort of.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's interesting.
But I highly recommend you do
I
it.
have a question. What advice would you give somebody who is doing their taxes for like the first time? So potentially somebody's listening who like this year right now, 2020, they're doing the 2019 taxes for the first time, and they didn't know any of this. Like, what advice would you give them?
I think that when you're doing it for the first time, you could go to an H&R Block, you can go to a Liberty Tax, you can go. I mean, there's different places you could go.
Right.
But again, those people that work at those places are just looking to get your papers in,
Right.
and get a tax out and charge you. The fact is, it depends how much money you're making and what things you have to claim, right?
Okay. Like,
Because
things you own.
things you own, if you're paying taxes on property, if you're paying real estate taxes, if you own other things, I mean, the more you make, the more deductions they are. Although they have limited some of the deductions, there was a time where if you owned a house and you paid property tax of $18,000, that $18,000 was tax deductible. With the new Tax Act, you're only able to deduct $10,000 on property tax.
Oh, no.
So now all those people have these enormous property taxes can no longer deduct all of it.
And this is throughout the U.S. This isn't specific to New York.
This is federal taxes that
This
has
one's
been
not
changed.
state
And that
taxes.
happened in 2019. Also, if you own a home that's $1 million and you're paying interest on that home of $1 million, you're only now able to put on your taxes the interest for $750,000 of that home. So you're only able to use, let's say, 3/4 of the interest, as where before you could use up to $1 million
Wow.
interest on $1 million of the home. So, but what they have done is those people that are making lots of money and contributing to charities are now giving more of a charitable tax break than it was before.
But there's
Gotcha.
what do you know off the top here? What's the minimum for that? Because I'm sure there's a minimum.
There's no minimum.
Also, if you donated like $4,000, you could claim that.
No, you could only claim
60% of it, right?
60% of what your income is.
God, yeah.
That's the
what I was
maximum,
thinking.
though.
Right, that's the maximum.
Yeah.
Okay. So what about people who like
Oh,
contribute
man.
to like their churches and whatnot? Is that
Start
considered like a
donating.
charitable donation?
It's considered a charitable donation, but now is the smaller donations become you're getting less of it, right? Because
Okay.
they've lowered the amount that you could
Okay.
you could take. What also has changed is that there used to be a time where you did your taxes and you didn't itemize. You did a standard deduction, but you were still able to deduct unreimbursed employee expenses. Like you're a construction worker and you get paid with a W-2, and you had to buy a belt and some tools. All of that would be tax deductible.
Okay.
But our orange friend has changed it such that is no longer tax deductible.
Oh, man.
They've changed it so that some of the things that used to be able to put on your taxes beyond the standard deduction with tax deductible, like you used to be able to deduct the cost of doing your taxes, the cost of hiring an accountant,
Really?
the
Wow.
program that you use that you paid for to do your taxes. That is no longer tax deductible for someone who does the standard deduction. So those things have changed, not to help the common guy, but to take away some of his deductions. Now the standard deduction has increased, and back in the day, about 70% of the people used to use the standard deduction, and 30% would itemize. Now it's about 95% of the people use the standard deduction because so many of the deductions have been taken away. It doesn't pay for them to go the itemized way.
Yeah.
Okay. And that is all due to like the current administration. So that could change at some time in the next handful
It
of
could
years.
change because these new laws are actually only through 2020. So in 2021, whoever the president is, they'll have to put a new act, because this was the Tax Act, Job something Act that was
So no
enacted
wonder
in
they've been
2020.
saying, "Oh, the economy's been boosting." Da, da, da.
First of all, that's a different.
I know, but you think about it, like if you were giving less back on like returns and things like that, the government gets to keep in more money.
Yeah.
So then, in a sense, like, yeah, look at our numbers have increased because we forced
They're
them.
fixing the numbers. Yeah.
And a tax return is not a tax return. What the government does, when you have a return, they are just giving you back your money,
Essentially.
right? Because if you put down, one dependent on your W-9 and you get a big tax return, that means you were lending them your money for free, right? They were borrowing your money and you're now getting it back at no interest. But if you borrowed money from them and you have to pay on your taxes, you pay a penalty, and if you're late, you pay interest. So they automatically charge you penalty and interest for money that they lent you, but if they have to pay you back, they don't give you anything extra for borrowing it.
It's
It's
a
a
rigged
free loan.
game.
Wow.
It's
Oh,
so,
for sure. Like,
geez.
this year I had to pay around like $500 because the same thing. I had to pay a penalty and stuff like that. I was like, what? Yeah. And then even if I was gonna do like a payment plan, but it doesn't make sense because you're just paying more and more. And
every
interest. And I was
month
like,
it goes
Interest.
Yeah.
Damn interest.
yeah, you feel like personally attacked by this? There's something like
Yeah,
this.
no,
happen
that
to you?
interest is
No,
getting them.
interest is so whack. That's
Unless
just
it's benefiting you.
that's
Well,
that's just a way for them to keep on making money off of the money that you already owe them. That blows my mind.
Yeah.
But it's just like a safety net of a sense. Like I can't trust you, so I have to give you the interest. I'm putting myself in a bad position because I gave you that money.
Yeah.
But with the government says,
I feel like
It's
the
not my
whole
money now.
like the whole system is really against people who aren't doing well financially. Like for instance, I feel like I'm always getting like promos on like my credit cards, like I
Oh,
have
yeah.
2% interest or 0% interest, right? Because I manage that well. But then there's these individuals who don't manage it well. It's like, all right, 29.99 APR. It's like, what? That's probably Dempsey. That you know?
The
some
worse
scary
credit you have, the higher interest rate that you pay, that is because you are a higher risk. So
Right.
if they're going to lend you money, they charge you more because they expect a certain amount of people not to pay it.
Right.
So the people that are deemed higher risk will get a higher interest, so that if they don't pay it, we've already collected more money on interest.
Wow.
Right? Even when you buy a car, you could buy a car and go into a dealership and they'll give you 24 to 29% interest. But if I don't get 0 to 2.9% interest, I don't buy there. But my credit score is 819.
Damn.
So they'll give me a great interest, and if your credit
not in his
score is
DMs.
580, they'll still lend you the money, but they'll give you a 29% interest. So
flexing on us.
$1,000 in 3 years will cost you $4,000, right?
Man, why you flexing on him with that high credit score? What you doing, yo?
I wasn't flexing. I was just talking.
Zeke, you heard that, right?
Unintentional
He was letting you know.
flexing,
You say, you know what time it is? 8:19.
819.
Like, oh, boy, all right, get that up. Oh man, one day.
Wow.
You guys are not right.
Your phone just got like 27 text messages on it.
Ooh.
Right now. Yeah. They said, "Ooh, mira, papi."
He said
On
819.
819.
Papi, you want to do my taxes?
Right.
So, all right. So you've walked us through the tax process. But yet you worked in real estate, and you have this infinite, it seems, knowledge bank of what to do with money.
He's smart.
So much
Easy.
money.
You smart.
He loyal too.
Should buy him a house.
So
And a car.
but he has
so-
both.
Low interest rate.
So still talking about taxes. What would you recommend people to do with their money from taxes? Because the first thing people do when they get their money is
they
they want to buy a
splurge.
vacuum.
They want to buy a table.
A new table. You need
A new
one.
table.
Oh, a new rug.
They
Too.
want to go to Florida.
Oh, dude.
They got a big discount
we gotta
for
go
their
to
job.
Florida.
Get the villa.
A villa for 10 days, right? For 1,100.
So what would you recommend you do with your tax? If this is for the public, what do you think people should do with their money?
Well, obviously, it depends on what kind of refund you get, right?
Okay.
I mean, if you lent the money, the government money, a bunch of money, you're gonna get a big return. But my opinion of life, returns, and income is you should always pay yourself first. You should put money aside that you make believe you don't have anymore.
Write that down, everybody.
And pay yourself first, because you are the most important bill in your life, right? So
Reach that, Pops.
if you make $1,000 a week, you should take 10% of it and put it in a different bank account.
That's $100.
Very good.
Yo, Zeke, you're really good at math.
He's really good at math.
Yo,
Dempsey, it's
what would
that-
Chenley think?
Yo, it's that finance degree he got. That joint is finally coming into
Hey,
use.
just in case people don't know,
No,
gotta let
that's
them know.
good.
Hey,
That's
man.
good.
He flipped his resume
I'm putting-
over and used it as extra paper.
Bruh.
For sure, because it's not too much writing on it.
I'm here for the people, all right, guys?
That's it.
Can't just assume everybody knows.
No, of course
Yeah,
not.
see?
I don't even have a calculator.
On your phone, or your watch, on your...
Right.
Well, that's what you should do. You
Save
should
10%.
You should pay yourself first, right? I mean, of course, everybody wants to go on vacation, but you should never use all of your refund of all of your
Absolutely.
income just on one thing. You shouldn't go buy
Word.
yourself an iPhone 11,
And
and spend $1,200 on a phone when you should be saving
That's
for your
funny.
future. And you're not going to live forever, right? You know, you only die once. The rest of the days you have to live them. So I'm not saying take it all with you, but you should always save for a rainy day. Always save for that apartment you want. You should be opening up a fund to buy that house, and it all depends on the income and what money you make. But no matter what you make or what you bring in, you should always put money aside for X, whatever X may be.
Okay.
That makes sense.
that absolutely makes sense. I wanted to go back to what you said about the iPhone. Isn't it crazy how like always January, February they have those brand new iPhone promotions? Oh yeah, switch over.
Oh, there's a new Samsung coming out too. S20. They just started
and
the
the
commercial.
Fold's on its way out too. Isn't that all? And it goes to what you said, Avid. That it's kind of rigged against you. It's like like people are so caught up with like, oh my god, I'm getting that refund, but then they turn away for a second. And they're like, oh my god, the new iPhone came out. Before they know, all that money's gone.
Yeah, a lot of people just like they're stuck on the now, and like you were saying, Dad, they don't focus on the later, on that rainy day. And I think it also goes back to that episode from a couple weeks ago where we spoke about like schools are not teaching you things. Like I really do feel like
The
I'm
essentials.
a privileged like position because like you guys see my dad here. Like I learned all this because of him. Like
Oh, you smart.
It's because he's smart, so he passed that down to me.
Yeah.
You see, I see what you did there, Zeke.
See
Woo!
Yeah.
Yeah,
Richie
we
Fox.
far.
Yeah.
We have a guest in our way. No,
That was an Air 5.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's what I deal with.
He wasn't impressed.
He's just jealous. He's just jealous. It's fine. It's fine, D. No, I feel like real privileged and blessed that like my dad was able to instill this like knowledge into me. Like I have never like messed up my credit score. Like
His
when
score's an 802.
right when it's below when it's below 800, I
He
freak out.
freaks out. Yo, he yells.
He almost freaked out in one of the episodes, right?
Yes.
When he's checking his phone and he checked his
Because
credit
it went
score.
down a little bit.
Yeah, I think we
Yeah, I
did
checked
that.
it today. It's actually like a 796 now. It's a tragedy.
no.
I know it's
Oh,
tragedy
that's scary
to me.
stuff, man.
Yeah, I
Jeez.
know because I bought a new TV and I only paid it off yet. It's fine. I paid it off. It's fine.
That's cool. I mean, we're all flexing right now. This is
Oh.
not really a good flex. Mine is like, I don't even know how it's even this high right now. It's at 712.
Ooh.
It was
We
higher.
don't.
It was
don't
higher
tell
when
us
I was
you
actually
are.
working, guys.
We don't
I
want to
get
You
get
guys ain't ready.
We should talk.
No, you
no.
really aren't ready.
Yeah,
No.
That's fine.
His is non-existent, bro.
Only 2
Mine's-
digits.
I won't. I won't.
Can't even be that low.
I won't. No, I won't say. Stupid. I won't say my credit score, but
That's
I will
fine.
say the worst.
It's in the negatives.
no. The worst credit score that I ever did have was like a 430. Wow. It's definitely not that anymore.
It's not the time.
way,
It's that.
it's way
You
better.
could be dead and have a 430.
Yeah. I know. No, but that was my worst, and that was because I was like struggling in between jobs and whatnot, and like my
I
shit
feel
was.
you.
I was.
I might
I was,
be there soon.
I was.
Zeke is still in between jobs.
Yeah, bro. It's never too late.
Yeah.
But I'm really proud that I worked on it.
Attaboy.
It's way higher.
Yeah.
Round of applause. Round of applause.
Good
Yeah,
job,
so
man.
it ain't no 819, but I think I could if I wanted
Almost
to, I
there.
could lease a car.
You
I
can
could- I could
aspire
say I could-
to
I
it
could lease a
now.
car.
Yeah.
But I don't. We live in the Bronx, so you know
actually,
we all
I mean-
about the MTA.
That's
I live in the Bronx too. I got a car.
I mean, but look at you. Like you need to drive this terrain.
I'm done. Oh my goodness.
Y'all ain't gonna get it, but it is funny.
All right. Well, I have another question for Mr. Maldonado. So I know we're talking about credit score and things right now, and you mentioned about having your apartment first and then saving up to get it like a house. So what would you recommend, like, or what are the essentials people need to do or have to get like their first house?
That's a good question.
I mean, right now you could do an FHA, and for an FHA, all you need is to have a
What is an FHA?
It's the a loan, a government-backed loan. So everybody wants to jump on an FHA, they have the preconception that is the first homeowner's buyer's loan, but that's not really the case. It's just a government-backed loan that as long as you don't have another mortgage, they'll lend you money with less money down. So all you need is 3.5% to put down
Of the house.
right?
Just wanna
Instead of
clarify
the normal 20%,
Oh,
so that you don't have to pay mortgage insurance premium. But at 3.5% down, what happens is there's some additional government fees, and then they charge you a monthly fee as well. But I only recommend that if you don't have the 20% down.
Okay.
So if the house
What are
is
the pros and cons of that, Dad?
the pros are that you're able to buy a house with less money down, right?
Yeah.
The interest rate is at par with a conventional loan.
You pay for longer, right?
No, you don't pay for longer. I mean, you could have a 30-year mortgage. You could also do a 15-year mortgage, but of course the payment would be higher, the interest rate would be lower. The cons is that they charge you government fees. They charge you. I think it's 1.75 on top of the price of the house right up front, and they charge you 0.85 over the course of the year, forever.
And that has nothing to do with the house. That is just a fee that they're collecting.
The fee they're collecting. Now, the pro is when you do an FHA loan, when they do the inspection of the home has to be perfect. Because the government doesn't want you to buy a home that needs any repairs.
That makes
so
sense.
there can't be any discontinuations in the continuity of the paint. There can't be anything that would require repair. There has to be handrails. There has to be,
Has to be up to perfect code.
has to be perfectly up to code. As when you buy a conventional home, you put 20% down. The bank is less stringent doing the appraisal.
I see.
Okay.
Yes. I wonder, is there a minimum credit scores one should have when trying to pursue buying a house?
Well, you cannot get a conventional loan unless you have a 600 and something. But the higher your
score,
your credit score, the better the rate will get.
Right. Okay.
Now FHA is not quite like that. You can have a 580 score, and you may be able to get approved depending on what your credit looks like. But the interest rate will be the same.
Okay.
But you're not going to get the better rate, and you're gonna have to put 3.5 plus pay their fees. And obviously then your payment's going to be higher because you put less money down. You only put 3.5.
And then it's going to take you longer to pay it off, and then those fees are going to keep racking up.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
And isn't that what got us to a recession in the first place? All those.
What got us to recession is, I think
bubble.
it was who was the president at the time?
Bush. Yeah.
And Bush said that everybody should realize the American dream, and the American dream is to own a home.
Right.
And all you needed was a heartbeat to acquire a mortgage.
Oh, we lit.
What they did was,
I'm good.
Zeke, you alive?
Yeah, I'm good.
all you needed to do is show up, sign some papers, and they gave you a mortgage. That's all you needed. What they did was no doc loans, and they said, "Man, this house is $500,000. In order to buy this, you need to make $100,000." And the person was, "Yeah, I make $100,000. Oh, sign right here saying you make $100,000." And they gave you a loan. And then the person made
Zeke, you could probably do that.
Yeah, I make 100,000.
Yeah. They would give you a loan.
Sweet.
Yep, he has a pulse. Give him a loan.
Oh, good. We just checked his pulse. It's good.
I was
blood pressure.
worried.
Yeah, it's good.
Going back into what we were talking about, owning homes, the importance of a credit score. I think, all right, I understand the importance of it, but isn't it so unfair to judge somebody based on a number?
Oh yeah, no, you can't. At least my idea, there's so much things going on in life, and then for you to always, let's say, I have to make this payment, or maybe I should pay my rent. So it's I can't fault you for you wanting to pay your rent or put food on the table and not paying your credit card.
I see what you're saying, but there is a lot that goes into it, but it does show your trustworthiness, which is why they benefit the people who are more trustworthy. But I do see that on the other hand, you never know what life will throw at you. You just never know. And it's funny to me in terms of owning a car, that's considered a luxury. That's not even your day-to-day living.
I think the reason everything is based on the scores, and you can tell a lot from a person by their scores, because if somebody has a good credit score, it begs to differ that is the person that is taking some percentage of their money and putting it on the side. Because in life, you must take care of yourself, your family, and the what if factor. And if you don't take the what if factor, you're not really taking care of your family, right? You have to be ready to take on any situation. And yes.
But Dad, don't you think that there's people who are just not educated in that? Like, there's people that just don't know. Like, I feel like I know because you told
The
me
U.S.
that, but I don't think
education
people know.
system does not educate our youth properly. There should be a class in every school teaching about credit, teaching about financing, teaching about home buying, teaching about buying a car. There should be a logical class of your money. When I was in college, I got my first credit card when I was 16 years old. They just gave me one because I was in college, right? I handled it properly, but I know people that got credit cards when they were 16 and underage, and by the time they were 30, they had this credit card that they got a $500 credit limit, and now they owe $2,000 on it for over the limit fees. And then I helped them get out of it by writing a letter to the credit company saying, "Hey, this contract was entered into with a minor," and of course, then they just wash off the $2,000. But that's what happens to a lot of people.
Wow, 500 limit, owe 2,000. Wow.
That's the interest.
I know.
Interest and penalties, $39 a month.
I wrote that down.
I got you, Zeke.
No, I'm good.
No, but yeah, like I get what you're saying. It's a true disservice. We spoke about this in one of our past episodes about just what like nobody knows what the credit system is. Nobody knows what kind of sharks are going to be waiting for you when you graduate high school. That credit card companies will literally be knocking at your door, sending. I got stuff from Capital One. I never applied for anything Capital One ever.
Every day. No, that's what I'm saying. Every day I get like letters about, hey, new credit card for you, Zeke. Here's another credit card. You want another one? Yeah.
And that goes into, this is a different topic, but real quick, it's like that goes to show like some of the companies that we use as vendors, like I would say Amazon or like Netflix, all that stuff. I'm pretty sure they sell your information.
This is not an ad.
No, but they sell your information to companies that prey on you.
Yeah, no. And even if you go to like stores like GABE, Macy's, like every store has like a credit line now, and you can get caught up easily. Like, oh, here's 20% off your next purchase if you just apply for a credit card.
Yeah.
It's like, bro,
that's how Macy's got me. I don't use them though.
Old Navy has a card that's a Visa. Like you can use it at
So
places
does Macy's.
that
It's an
aren't
Amex.
Now I didn't
that
get that
aren't
one.
Old Navy.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. It blows my mind. But
So then I want to know, like, how did you like educate yourself on this? Like, when did you become well versed in all this?
How you get this
What
vast
happened?
knowledge?
Right? How did you get this knowledge? It's not something that was you were born with, and I know your parents didn't instill this in you. So what happened?
I became a grown man at 14 years old. My dad passed, right? And I became my mom's husband. And just because I became the person responsible for things in the house, I had to start paying rent at 15. I had a full-time job at 16. But also at 16, I was in college, finance and investments, minor in accounting and international marketing. And I just had to grow up, and I was versed and I was well read and knowledgeable of finances, and I just educated myself, right? Yeah. I knew that if somebody gave me a credit card for $500, which was my first credit card, that I couldn't go spending $500, and I'd be over the free limit. But most youth don't think like that. They got $500, they go spend $500, and their first bill is over the fee limit.
See, we're here. We were here. Literally, I said the same thing last podcast.
Yes, that's what happens to a lot of people.
So I feel like I definitely know not to spend all of my limit. Like I don't go. Oh, let me spend $10,000 on one of these cards
real quick.
Right. So what would you suggest to people? What is the amount you believe that they should be spending on their allotted credit limit?
Well, let's say somebody gets a credit card for $1,000. They shouldn't spend more than $300, right? You should never spend more than 30% of your credit limit. So if you were going to make a big purchase of $2,000 and you have two cards that are $10,000, maybe you just want to do $1,000 on each of them because you want to keep your spending limit down to 30% of all your entire cards.
30%.
Why 30? That seems arbitrary.
It's not arbitrary. The credit bureaus, they look at the amount of money that you have available and the amount of money that you've used, and they do it over your credit card. So if you have one card that you spend 40% of it and another card that you spend 5% of it, that average is still less than 30, but spending more than 30% on any given card will still lower your credit score.
Okay.
Wow. All right. So I mean, you definitely shared like a lot of knowledge with us in terms of like your credit cards, doing your taxes, and even some real estate. Is there any last thoughts or nuggets of knowledge that you want to share that we didn't touch on today about anything?
No, I mean, if you want to reach out to me, my cell phone number is 917-225-3518, or you could reach me by texting GABE to 85377. Just GABE to 85377, and you'll get an electronic business card.
Awesome.
And you could text stop if you want the notifications to stop. I'm just kidding.
But why would you want it to stop?
Yeah,
you need that knowledge coming.
There's no notifications. You just get a contact information, and only Dempsey gets notifications.
Only he gets spam.
It said I was blocked when I texted it.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. If you want to text Dempsey, you can reach him at 91. Never mind.
No, it is cool. You get your own. You can download his contact.
Yeah, it's his own
It's very
business
efficient.
card.
It's very
It's
efficient.
official, yo. Y'all need to not play these games. If you wanna, if you wanna buy a new house or whatever, or maybe you hunting for an apartment.
Yeah.
I don't know. Are you still taking tax clients? No, he ain't taking the tax clients. Don't bother about that. Don't bother about that. Yo, keep that look.
But he will help you buy a house.
That's
right.
That's true.
That's right.
So yeah, please go actually.
Yeah. Yo, if you need your taxes done, hit him up.
No, I'm just saying.
No, but yeah, I mean, we're in the midst of tax season. If you haven't done your taxes already, now is the time to do it. Don't wait until April 15th.
April 15th.
Yeah.
Look at you knowing
It's called
something.
tax day for a reason.
Yeah.
Boy.
You did your taxes already. You played
did.
yourself.
No, I did not play myself. The earlier you do them, the sooner you get a refund back. And it's always better to have that.
Doesn't
money
mean you're
sooner
always
than
going to get a refund.
No, true. But it's always better to do things early, because if you don't do it by tax day, you get another penalty.
Dad, hold on. So, how do you feel about that? You think you know everything?
If you don't do it by tax day, they start charging you late fees on the 16th.
No, I know that, but you can apply for
said do it
extension. He's saying that you should do it as early as possible.
I don't think it matters exactly when you do it. Some people like to do it late in the season so that they get the money later if they are getting a refund. And some people like to do it later in the season so if they are paying, they get to hold on to their money till later. Now, you can do it early, and if you pay on the 15th. But if you pay a day after the 15th, you start paying late fees.
Even if you do an extension?
If you do an extension, the extension only gives you more time to file your taxes. But if you owe, you will owe penalties and fees from April 15th.
wow.
So that's what I say. I know people that
Scam.
they file, and then there are some issues that go on with their stuff, and it takes a little longer to get their money or to see what's happening.
You
So
speaking from experience?
no, not from my personal experience, but I went to college with a lot of dumb idiots. So
Not yourself included.
definitely not myself.
Okay.
I've been really good with tax season. I always like to do it as soon as possible, just to be cautious, because I don't want to be put in that position where my back's against the wall April 15th, and then I have to start paying money that I really don't have in the first place. You know?
I thought we were closing up. I have one more question. What do you think is like too much to be paying somebody to do your taxes?
Good question.
The average taxpayer, professional taxpayer, gets about $299 to do a non-itemized tax, just to do a standard deduction tax. The person who does a tax prepared long form or itemized usually makes about $400 per tax.
Wow.
I actually never charge my clients that much. I usually charge for an itemized tax return like $230, $250, but that's just because I've been doing the same people for some years.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Does it change if you're doing like a married couple? Do you charge each, or do you just charge a group
household
rate? Or if that makes sense?
I mean, usually you charge by form, which forms you're doing. So doing a married couple or single person won't change the fee that much. It depends how many forms they have. I mean, if there's earned income credit, if there's a child tax credit, if there's some stocks and bonds that they need to realize on their taxes. There's lots and lots of forms and schedules, and there's usually like an additional fee per form.
Okay. No, that was that's a
makes
really
sense,
good question, because some people might be paying more, some people might be paying less, and now they know.
Right. Some people might be paying $100 per person. Some people might be paying $200 per person.
Yeah.
Is it generally just like the prices by form? Is it like a standard practice, or?
No, there's probably different price scales in different offices. Okay. But again,
It depends on the person too.
Basically.
It depends on the office,
Yeah.
But again, when you go to one of these offices, you don't know who's working there. It's just somebody who they hired to do taxes, and a lot of these offices just want to turn people, just want to get 100
like
people
an
in,
H&R
100
block,
people
stuff like
out.
that?
Right? They
Yeah,
just
like
want to
the
push
pop-up
people
blocks.
through and don't really care specifically about your taxes and your exemptions.
So
and
do
your-
they? I don't know if you know, but do they just hire anybody, or how?
You
how does
have
places
to
work?
be licensed in order to do the
okay.
job. So you have to have taken the test, or you have to be accountant, or you have to be an attorney. But that in itself does not make you knowledgeable
Correct.
or the best person to be doing
Right,
some
right,
of these
right.
taxes.
Just like having a driver's license doesn't mean you know how to drive a car.
There's a lot of people out there that shouldn't be driving.
Right.
Talk about it.
Well said.
Zeke.
Hey. I'm not even on the road.
Yeah, exactly. we don't need to be. Once again, we're not on this type of terrain,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
We got the 12 of us. All right. No, I think that pretty much sums up today's episode. That's all the time that we have for today. I want to thank our very first guest
Yes,
ever,
thank you so much,
Gabe,
Dad.
for being on the
Yeah.
show.
Big G.
Thank you for having me, guys.
No, not
Thank you.
anytime.
Thank you for
for
coming.
putting all that knowledge out there into the universe.
Yes.
Kids
I
need
soaked
that.
it up. Come on, guys.
Is the
That free class, right?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you rate on the Apple Podcast. Follow us IG, Twitter, ADZ_podcast.
YouTube, we just released our YouTube
Oh,
Right,
yeah.
right.
Ooh,
episode.
go check that
YouTube
out.
video last
And
week.
most importantly, make sure you text GABE, GABE, to 85377. My pop's business card will be there for all your real estate and
needs.
tax purposes.
Please.
But this isn't an ad. No,
Hey,
it is.
nah, this
It
is an ad.
It is.
That is
Absolutely.
definitely an ad.
Definitely. Yep. First ad ever. Official. Confirmed.
We ain't get paid.
I was about
but
to
it's
say,
an ad.
yeah,
For sure an ad. Guys, I think maybe we should have like one of y'all pops on the episode next.
Oh, yeah, we'll get that going.
My
Don't
vote
worry.
is for no.
For Zeke's dad?
Well, it was either my dad or your dad.
Yeah, my pops came here first.
Oh.
I did it first.
That's a great song.
Yeah.
Because he did do it first.
He did, right.
Yeah.
Wait, didn't he hit it?
Oh.
Okay. That's all. That's it.
That's
All right.
it.
Yeah.
That's the episode.
Thank you guys so
guys.
much for tuning in. Appreciate y'all. My name is Avid.
My name is Dempsey.
And I'm freaking Zeke, all right?
Whoa.
I'm sorry.
Language.
Sorry.
Language.
I thought we were all hyped up. Sorry.
Oh, all right. Yeah.
Well, this was
I'm
80.
freaking Avid.
Yeah.
I'm freaking Dempsey.
I'm Zeke.
Who are you?
Big G.
Big G. Big G. That's going to the episode.
That is.
All right.
All
So
right.
email him at Big G.
Big G.
That was funny.
All right. Thank you guys for listening.
Enjoy your week.
Peace. All right, this is Zeke from A to Z. And again, I want to say thank you guys for listening. And you can always contact us at atozpod@gmail.com. And you can always, send us a DM at A_podcast on our Instagram or Twitter. Give us your, thoughts and comments, your hate, or your job information. Your boy needs help out here, please. So again, thank you for listening and, peace.